Hollywood has long been a realm of glitz, glamour, and larger-than-life personalities. Beneath the bright lights and red carpets, however, lies a darker reality that has plagued many of its stars: alcohol abuse. For some, the pressures of fame, fortune, and unrelenting public scrutiny have been overwhelming, leading them down destructive paths. Among Hollywood's countless tales of struggle and redemption, there are a few whose battles with alcohol have become almost as legendary as their careers. These stories, while cautionary, also shed light on the human condition and the complexities of addiction. Before we start, smash the like and subscribe buttons for more updates. One of the most infamous cases of alcohol abuse in Hollywood history is that of John Barrymore. A titan of the silver screen during the early 20th century, Barrymore was a member of the famed Barrymore acting dynasty and was widely regarded as one of the greatest stage and film actors of his time. Yet his talent was matched only by his penchant for drinking. Barrymore's alcoholism was no secret, and it eventually overshadowed his career. Known for his boisterous personality and wit, he often joked about his excessive drinking, but his addiction steadily deteriorated his health and professional life. By the 1930s, his once dominant presence on screen had waned, and his personal life was in shambles. Barrymore's reliance on alcohol was not merely a lifestyle choice. It became a defining part of his tragic narrative, leading to his premature death at the age of 60 in 1942. His story remains a haunting reminder of how unchecked addiction can erode even the most brilliant of careers. W.C. Fields, another Hollywood legend, had a complicated relationship with alcohol that became an integral part of his public persona. Known for his comedic brilliance and a biting wit that often skewered societal norms, Fields was also famous for incorporating his love of drinking into his performances. His characters often mirrored his real-life affinity for booze, and he played into this image so effectively that it became difficult to separate the man from the myth. However, the humor masked a deeper struggle. Fields' drinking was not merely recreational, it was compulsive, and it took a significant toll on his health. In the later years of his career, his body began to break down, and his work suffered. His alcoholism alienated him from loved ones, and he died in 1946, at the age of 66, due to cirrhosis of the liver and other alcohol-related complications. Fields' legacy is one of unparalleled comedic talent, but it is impossible to ignore how his battle with alcohol shaped the course of his life. Few names in Hollywood evoke as much reverence and controversy as Richard Burton, a Welsh actor whose magnetic screen presence and Shakespearean prowess made him a cinematic icon. However, his tumultuous relationship with alcohol became almost as legendary as his love affair with actress Elizabeth Taylor. Burton's drinking began early in life and escalated alongside his meteoric rise to fame. Known for his intense performances and larger-than-life personality, he often drank to cope with the pressures of his career and personal life. His marriages to Taylor were fiery and passionate, but also marred by alcohol-fueled arguments and public scandals. Burton's drinking led to erratic behavior on set, impacting his performances and earning him a reputation for being unreliable. Despite his immense talent, Burton's career was frequently interrupted by stints in rehab and battles with his health. He died in 1984 at the age of 58, leaving behind a body of work that continues to captivate audiences, but also a cautionary tale about the destructive power of addiction. Judy Garland, the iconic star of The Wizard of Oz, represents one of Hollywood's most tragic stories of fame, substance abuse, and exploitation. While much of her struggles are often associated with prescription drug addiction, alcohol also played a significant role in her downfall. Garland's troubles began at a young age, with studio executives subjecting her to a grueling schedule, body shaming, and providing her with stimulants to keep her working and sedatives to help her sleep. As she grew older, Garland turned to alcohol to numb the pain of her insecurities and the relentless demands of her career. Her drinking, combined with her reliance on drugs, led to erratic behavior and professional difficulties. Garland's once dazzling career unraveled as her health deteriorated and financial troubles mounted. Despite numerous attempts to revive her career and overcome her addictions, Garland died of a drug overdose in 1969 at the age of 47. Alcohol, though not the sole culprit, was a significant factor in her tragic life, underscoring the toxic pressures of Hollywood stardom. These figures represent some of the worst struggles with alcohol in Hollywood history, each illustrating the devastating impact of addiction in different ways. Their stories are sobering reminders of the pitfalls of fame and the importance of addressing the underlying causes of substance abuse. While some found redemption, others were not as fortunate, their legacies forever entwined with their battles against alcohol. In the end, these tales serve as cautionary examples of how the glittering facade of Hollywood can often mask the darker realities lurking beneath. The story of alcohol addiction in Hollywood doesn't end with a few tragic figures. It's a pervasive theme that has touched the lives of countless stars. While some overcame their struggles, others were less fortunate. Here are more individuals whose battles with alcohol have become infamous, each offering a unique and sobering perspective on the toll that addiction can take. Errol Flynn, the swashbuckling star of classic films like Captain Blood and The Adventures of Robin Hood, was as famous for his off-screen exploits as he was for his on-screen heroics. Flynn epitomized the Hollywood playboy lifestyle, with his good looks, charm, and devil-may-care attitude drawing admirers and scandal in equal measure. Alcohol was a central part of his persona, with Flynn often seen drinking heavily at lavish parties and social gatherings. However, beneath the glamour, his drinking became increasingly destructive. Known for his wild behavior, Flynn was frequently embroiled in controversies and legal troubles, many of which were fueled by his alcohol consumption. His health began to fail in his later years, exacerbated by years of heavy drinking and substance abuse. Flynn died of a heart attack in 1959 at the age of 50, a victim of his own excesses. His life, marked by unparalleled charisma and reckless indulgence, serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked hedonism. Dorothy Dandridge, a groundbreaking actress and singer, became the first African-American woman to be nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actress for her role in Carmen Jones. Despite her talent and trailblazing success, Dandridge's life was plagued by personal and professional hardships. As she faced systemic racism and limited opportunities in Hollywood, Dandridge turned to alcohol to cope with the pressures of her career and personal life. Her relationships were tumultuous, and financial difficulties added to her struggles. Alcohol became both an escape and a destructive force in her life, compounding her feelings of isolation and despair. By the time of her untimely death in 1965 at the age of 42, Dandridge's career had faded, and she was left battling financial ruin and emotional turmoil. Her tragic story underscores the immense challenges faced by women of color in the entertainment industry and the damaging effects of addiction. Spencer Tracy, widely regarded as one of the greatest actors in cinematic history, was a consummate professional on screen, but privately battled severe alcoholism for much of his life. Tracy's drinking often led to erratic behavior and strained relationships, including his long-term affair with Katharine Hepburn. Despite his struggles, Tracy's immense talent allowed him to deliver iconic performances in films like Guess Who's Coming to Dinner and Inherit the Wind. However, his reliance on alcohol took a significant toll on his physical health, leading to a series of illnesses that plagued him in his later years. Tracy's battles with addiction were often overshadowed by his professional achievements, but those close to him understood the profound impact it had on his personal life. He died in 1967 at the age of 67, leaving behind a legacy of extraordinary performances and a private life marked by immense inner turmoil. Oliver Reed, a British actor known for his intense screen presence and roles in films like Gladiator and Oliver, was notorious for his heavy drinking and wild antics. Reed's love of alcohol was no secret, and his drunken escapades often made headlines, further cementing his reputation as a hellraiser. His larger-than-life personality made him a beloved figure among fans, but his drinking frequently caused problems on film sets and strained his personal relationships. Reed's alcoholism was not just a matter of public spectacle, it also had serious consequences for his health. His death in 1999 at the age of 61, reportedly after a marathon drinking session, became emblematic of his tumultuous life. Reed's story is a stark reminder of how addiction can consume even those who seem larger than life. Lindsay Lohan represents a more modern example of Hollywood's ongoing struggles with addiction. Once a promising young actress with breakout performances in films like Mean Girls and The Parent Trap, Lohan's career was derailed by a series of highly publicized incidents involving alcohol and drug abuse. As she transitioned from child stardom to adult roles, Lohan faced intense scrutiny from the media, which only exacerbated her personal struggles. Her frequent run-ins with the law, including DUIs and court-mandated rehab stints, became tabloid fodder, overshadowing her talent and potential. Despite numerous attempts at sobriety, Lohan's battles with alcohol continued to hinder her career and tarnish her public image. While she has made efforts to rebuild her life and career in recent years, her story remains a cautionary tale about the pressures of early fame and the destructive allure of addiction. Each of these figures reflects a different aspect of Hollywood's dark relationship with alcohol. From Errol Flynn's reckless indulgence to Lindsay Lohan's struggles with fame in the modern era, their stories reveal the multifaceted nature of addiction and its devastating impact. While some manage to channel their struggles into eventual redemption, others succumb to the weight of their demons. Together, their lives serve as powerful reminders of the human cost of fame and the enduring need for compassion and understanding in the face of addiction. Ava Gardner, one of the most beautiful and talented actresses of Hollywood's golden age, lived a life as dramatic off-screen as the roles she played on it. Known for her captivating performances in films like The Night of the Iguana and Mogambo, Gardner's personal life was a whirlwind of tumultuous relationships and heavy drinking. Her marriages, most famously to Frank Sinatra, were fiery and filled with conflict, often exacerbated by alcohol. Gardner was known for her love of late-night parties and drinking binges, which sometimes made their way into tabloid headlines. As she grew older, her reliance on alcohol increased, affecting her health and career. Despite her immense talent, Gardner's personal demons left her struggling with loneliness and declining opportunities in her later years. She passed away in 1990 at the age of 67. Her life a mixture of glamour, heartbreak, and the lingering shadow of addiction. Peter O'Toole, the legendary actor known for his iconic performance in Lawrence of Arabia, was as famous for his hard-drinking lifestyle as for his acting brilliance. O'Toole's relationship with alcohol was legendary, earning him a reputation as one of Hollywood's greatest bon vivants. His drinking often bordered on reckless, with tales of all-night benders and wild antics becoming part of his persona. While O'Toole's charisma and talent allowed him to deliver unforgettable performances, his drinking took a significant toll on his health. By the late 1970s, he underwent life-saving surgery to address alcohol-related issues, including the removal of parts of his stomach and intestines. Despite this wake-up call, O'Toole continued to drink, albeit more moderately. He lived to the age of 81, passing away in 2013, leaving behind a legacy of extraordinary talent and a reminder of the precarious balance between brilliance and self-destruction. Montgomery Clift was one of Hollywood's most talented and enigmatic actors, delivering groundbreaking performances in films like A Place in the Sun and From Here to Eternity. However, his life was marred by personal struggles, including severe alcohol addiction. Clift's troubles were exacerbated by a near-fatal car accident in 1956, which left him with debilitating injuries and chronic pain. To cope, he turned to alcohol and painkillers, creating a dangerous cycle of dependency. His drinking began to affect his work, with his once stellar performances giving way to erratic behavior and difficulty on set. Clift's decline was heartbreaking for those who admired his talent, and he became a shadow of his former self. He died in 1966 at the age of 45 from a heart attack, with alcohol playing a significant role in his physical and emotional deterioration. Clift's story is a poignant example of how trauma and addiction can intertwine to devastating effect. Bette Davis, one of the most iconic actresses of all time, was a trailblazer in Hollywood, known for her commanding performances and fiery personality. Behind her success, however, Davis struggled with a drinking problem that became more pronounced as she aged. Her alcoholism was fueled in part by the immense pressures of maintaining her career in a male-dominated industry and dealing with personal hardships, including contentious relationships and health issues. Davis's drinking sometimes affected her behavior on set, leading to tensions with co-stars and directors. In her later years, she became more reclusive, her struggles with alcohol and declining health contributing to her diminished presence in Hollywood. Despite these challenges, Davis remained an indomitable force in the industry until her death in 1989 at the age of 81. Her story highlights the complex interplay between ambition, addiction, and resilience. Kiefer Sutherland, best known for his role as Jack Bauer in the hit series 24, is a modern-day example of how alcohol can wreak havoc even amid professional success. Sutherland's drinking was well documented in the tabloids, with incidents ranging from public intoxication to run-ins with the law, including a DUI arrest that led to a 48-day jail sentence in 2007. His penchant for partying and heavy drinking often overshadowed his acting accomplishments, creating an image of a star struggling to control his impulses. Despite these setbacks, Sutherland has shown remarkable resilience, continuing to work steadily in film and television and earning acclaim for his performances. His journey serves as a reminder that while addiction can be a persistent challenge, it is possible to confront and manage it with determination and support. These stories, spanning decades and generations, underscore the enduring prevalence of alcohol addiction in Hollywood. From Ava Gardner's glamorous yet troubled life to Kiefer Sutherland's struggles in the public eye, each figure embodies a different facet of the complex relationship between fame and addiction. Their experiences remind us that beneath the surface of celebrity lies the universal human struggle with pain, coping, and the search for redemption. Hollywood's history is saturated with tales of excess, fame, and the darker side of stardom. For many stars, alcohol became both an escape and a vice, leaving behind stories of triumph, tragedy, and caution. Here are more individuals whose struggles with alcoholism became part of their complex legacies. Though best known as the brilliant author of Breakfast at Tiffany's and In Cold Blood, Truman Capote was also a prominent figure in Hollywood, blending his literary genius with his connections to the film world. Capote's alcoholism was notorious, often playing out publicly at the glamorous parties he frequented. A natural raconteur, Capote used alcohol as a social lubricant, but his drinking soon spiraled out of control. His reliance on alcohol contributed to erratic behavior and alienation from many of his friends and collaborators. Capote's career suffered as his creative output dwindled and his health deteriorated over time. His death in 1984 at the age of 59 was the result of liver disease, compounded by years of alcohol and drug abuse. Capote's story is a poignant reminder of how the pressures of creativity and social prominence can drive even the most gifted individuals toward destructive habits. Elizabeth Taylor, one of the most celebrated actresses of the 20th century, was no stranger to personal struggles. Her extraordinary beauty and talent made her a global icon, but her tumultuous personal life, including 8 marriages and numerous health issues, often overshadowed her career. Taylor turned to alcohol as a means of coping with her emotional pain and the relentless scrutiny of her life in the spotlight. Her drinking became a serious problem, exacerbating her health issues and straining her relationships. In the 1980s, Taylor became one of the first high-profile celebrities to publicly seek treatment for addiction, entering the Betty Ford Center. Her openness about her struggles helped to reduce the stigma surrounding addiction and inspired others to seek help. Taylor's story is one of resilience, as she emerged from her battles with alcohol to become an advocate for addiction recovery and a humanitarian force in later life. Mickey Mantle, the legendary New York Yankees baseball player, had an unexpected connection to Hollywood through his larger-than-life persona and friendships with stars of the entertainment world. Mantle's incredible athleticism and charisma made him a cultural icon, but he battled severe alcoholism throughout his life. His drinking began during his baseball career and worsened after his retirement, as he struggled with the transition away from the sport that had defined him. Mantle's drinking impacted his family life, and his health began to fail due to liver damage. He eventually sought treatment and became a vocal advocate for sobriety, encouraging others to avoid the mistakes he had made. Mantle's death in 1995 at the age of 63 was a tragic reminder of the lasting effects of alcoholism, even for those who attempt to make amends and change their lives. Dennis Hopper, the counterculture icon behind films like Easy Rider and Blue Velvet, was known for his rebellious spirit and intense creativity. Hopper's life was also defined by his battles with alcohol and drugs, which fueled his reputation as one of Hollywood's most unpredictable figures. His drinking often led to erratic behavior on and off set, causing friction with directors and co-stars. At the height of his addiction, Hopper was known for wild partying and dangerous antics, including a period when he lived in self-imposed exile in Taos, New Mexico, where his behavior became increasingly erratic. After hitting rock bottom in the 1980s, Hopper sought help and achieved sobriety, staging a remarkable comeback as an actor and artist. His later years were marked by critically acclaimed performances and a renewed focus on his creative passion. Hopper's story is a testament to the possibility of redemption, even after decades of self-destructive behavior. Barbara Payton, once a rising starlet in Hollywood, experienced one of the most dramatic and tragic declines in the industry's history history. Peyton was known for her beauty and talent, appearing in films like Kiss Tomorrow Goodbye alongside James Cagney. However, her personal life was plagued by scandal, abusive relationships, and heavy drinking. As her career faltered, Peyton turned to alcohol as a means of coping with her mounting troubles. Her addiction, coupled with poor choices and public scandals, led to the complete collapse of her career. By the end of her life, Peyton was living in poverty, her glamorous Hollywood dreams long shattered. She died in 1967 at the age of 39, a stark example of how the pressures of fame and the lure of alcohol can destroy even the brightest of careers. Each of these stories offers a different perspective on the devastating impact of alcohol addiction. From Truman Capote's creative struggles to Elizabeth Taylor's public battle for recovery, these lives demonstrate the multifaceted nature of fame, addiction, and the human spirit. Their legacies remain a blend of brilliance, tragedy, and the ever-present reminder that even the brightest stars are not immune to life's darkest challenges. Hollywood's glittering facade has always been paired with stories of excess, and many stars have succumbed to the temptations of alcohol. For some, their struggles were public and dramatic, while for others, it was a quieter descent into addiction. Here are more individuals whose lives and careers were profoundly shaped by their battles with alcoholism. George Best. The legendary Northern Irish soccer player might seem like an unusual inclusion in Hollywood's circle, but his fame transcended sports, and his larger-than-life persona made him a celebrity in the entertainment world. Best's good looks, charm, and incredible talent on the soccer field earned him the nickname the Fifth Beatle, and he became a fixture at glamorous parties alongside Hollywood's elite. However, his fame came with a dark side. Best developed a severe drinking problem that not only ended his soccer career prematurely but also severely affected his personal life and health. His alcohol abuse led to legal troubles, failed relationships, and a damaged liver that ultimately required a transplant. Even after receiving the transplant, Best struggled to maintain sobriety and died in 2005 at the age of 59. His story is a heartbreaking example of how fame and addiction can derail even the most promising lives. William Holden. One of Hollywood's most celebrated leading men, starred in iconic films like Sunset Boulevard and Stalag 17. Despite his professional success, Holden battled alcoholism for much of his life. His drinking often led to erratic behavior, including public incidents and difficulties on set. Holden's alcohol addiction affected his relationships, particularly with actress Stephanie Powers, who later spoke about the toll his drinking took on their lives. In 1981, Holden tragically died after hitting his head during a fall in his home, an accident exacerbated by his inebriation. He was only 63. Holden's legacy remains one of immense talent, but his life serves as a sobering reminder of how addiction can overshadow even the brightest careers. Tallulah Bankhead was an actress and socialite known for her wit, charisma, and fearless personality. A prominent figure on Broadway and in early Hollywood, she starred in films like Alfred Hitchcock's Lifeboat. Bankhead's love of alcohol and her flamboyant lifestyle became legendary, earning her a reputation as a hard-partying rebel in an era when such behavior was especially scandalous for women. While her drinking contributed to her larger-than-life persona, it also led to significant health problems and professional setbacks. Her alcohol abuse, combined with smoking and drug use, damaged her voice and physical appearance, limiting her opportunities as she aged. Bankhead died in 1968 at the age of 66, her health ravaged by years of excess. Her story is a compelling portrait of a woman who lived unapologetically but ultimately paid the price for her indulgences. Paul Gascoigne, known as Gaza, was one of England's most talented and beloved soccer players, achieving celebrity status that made him a staple of the entertainment world. His fame extended far beyond the soccer field, but his struggles with alcoholism became as well known as his athletic achievements. Gascoigne's drinking led to highly publicized incidents, including erratic behavior, legal troubles, and repeated stints in rehab. His addiction strained relationships with family and the public who had once adored him. Despite numerous attempts at recovery, Gascoigne's battle with alcohol has been ongoing, and his story is one of both tragedy and resilience. His life highlights the deep connection between fame, pressure, and addiction, showing how even the most revered figures can fall prey to personal demons. Veronica Lake. The glamorous star of films like Sullivan's Travels and This Gun for Hire was once one of Hollywood's most sought-after actresses. Her signature peekaboo hairstyle became an icon of 1940s fashion. Despite her success, Lake's life was marred by personal and professional struggles, many of which were exacerbated by alcohol. Her drinking led to erratic behavior and a reputation for being difficult to work with, which caused her career to decline rapidly. By the 1950s, she was working in low-budget films and eventually fell into obscurity, struggling with poverty and health problems related to her alcoholism. Lake died in 1973 at the age of 50, leaving behind a cautionary tale of how addiction and the pressures of Hollywood stardom can dismantle even the most glittering careers. These individuals offer further examples of how the allure of fame and the pressures of public life can contribute to the destructive cycle of addiction. From William Holden's tragic accident to Veronica Lake's decline into obscurity, their stories continue to resonate as cautionary reminders of the price of unchecked indulgence and the complex struggles behind the glamour of Hollywood. Hollywood's history is rife with tales of excess and indulgence, where the glitz and glamour often mask the personal struggles of its stars. Among the most pervasive issues is alcoholism, a vice that has consumed some of the industry's brightest talents, leaving behind stories of tragedy, resilience, and caution. The lives of 25 of Hollywood's most infamous alcoholics reveal the destructive power of addiction and its impact on both personal and professional realms. From the early days of cinema, figures like John Barrymore and W.C. Fields exemplified the struggle between artistry and addiction. Barrymore, a brilliant actor from the famed Barrymore dynasty, saw his health and career decline due to alcohol, transforming the great profile into a cautionary tale. Fields, a comedic genius, embraced his drinking persona publicly, but it came at a significant cost to his health and personal relationships. These early legends set the stage for countless others whose struggles would echo through the decades. Icons like Errol Flynn, Montgomery Clift, and Ava Gardner carried the torch of talent marred by alcohol dependency. Flynn's swashbuckling charm was matched only by his reckless indulgence, leading to legal troubles and health issues that cut his life short. Clift, a trailblazer in emotional acting, turned to alcohol after a devastating car accident left him in chronic pain, a tragic decline that extinguished his once dazzling career. Gardner, one of Hollywood's most glamorous stars, used alcohol to cope with the pressures of fame and her tumultuous personal life, a struggle that contributed to her declining health in later years. The mid-20th century saw figures like Judy Garland and Richard Burton grapple with the devastating effects of alcoholism. Garland, thrust into stardom at a young age, turned to alcohol and drugs to endure the punishing demands of the industry, culminating in a tragic death at just 47. Burton, a Shakespearean powerhouse, became infamous for his drinking, which often disrupted his career and fiery relationship with Elizabeth Taylor. His early death underscored the toll of his relentless battles with addiction. In more recent decades, stars like Lindsay Lohan and Kiefer Sutherland have exemplified the continuing presence of alcohol-related struggles in Hollywood. Lohan, a promising young actress, faced highly publicized legal troubles and stints in rehab, derailing a career that once seemed destined for greatness. Sutherland, celebrated for his role in 24, battled alcohol-related arrests and public incidents, though he managed to reclaim his career while acknowledging his ongoing fight. Tragic stories like Veronica Lake's fall from stardom and Dennis Hopper's self-destructive years illustrate how alcohol has permeated Hollywood across generations. Even figures outside traditional Hollywood like George Best and Paul Gascoigne, whose celebrity status brought them into the entertainment fold, show that the allure and pressures of fame transcend industries, leading many to alcohol as a coping mechanism. From pioneers like Tallulah Bankhead to contemporary figures like Mickey Rourke, these 25 individuals offer a sobering look at how fame often comes with unbearable pressure. Their lives remind us that behind the glamour and success lies a very human struggle, and their stories remain a poignant testament to the complexity of addiction. If you liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, leave your comments below and tell us, what are your thoughts on the impact of fame on Hollywood's worst alcoholics? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.